Denise Lewis. Do you think you can beat me in a race?
Yes, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that was time.
Actually,
I don't think you could, you know.
Hang on a
I
second.
don't think you could.
Jay, watch this clip. I'm just going to show you some. I was
Oh,
watching.
yeah.
So our first guest, Nadem, who we had on the show, he was talking about Man City, and I was rewatching the podcast back. Just to
He
check
watched this
over it.
yesterday.
And they were talking about the QPR Man City game when Man City won 3-2, and I was just watching it back because they were talking about things. Look at my boys running here.
Right, bro,
That's
where
yeah.
did this pace come from?
I'll take it back. There's some skills there.
He was running
There's some skills there, but this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not that long ago.
2012, mate. 2012.
2012.
You ain't beaten.
2012.
Dame Denise.
We're gonna play golf and then we're gonna have a race.
Okay.
We're gonna have a race to the
Down the
first tee.
street.
Yeah, down the
On
street.
the cobbles.
So obviously you're a sports presenter now, but you know he was one of the most famous Olympians ever. OB, MB, you got a bag of bees.
Bag of titles.
You got a bag of bees. A Dame. Like I'm like, wow, boy, this is special. But more importantly, you're from his area, and I know you ain't got that bad accent.
Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton, massive.
But hold on, how you got this well-spoken accent
I
then?
don't know.
You went private school?
No.
Where did that? Where
No. I'm fully comp. I don't know.
just trained.
My mom has an accent. I just never had one. I never had one. I listened back
Are
to
you putting this one
early
on?
interviews. I'm going to have to try and take it down because it made me self-conscious. But no, I never had an accent.
That's mad.
But maybe since I've been in London, it's probably just taken the edges off a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you upset me now, you kind of hear the yam come out.
Just while we're on that topic of hometown growing up, where did it all start for you? Where did the obsession with would you call it athletics?
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah.
But obviously it's heptathlon, is that right?
Yeah, that came later though.
Later. So where did the obsession and where did it start for you?
It started at school.
Yeah.
You know, I went to Woden Junior School. Which is not too far from Mansfield. Do you know how it ends?
No.
you don't,
That's
you
north.
don't.
Anything north of Watford, I don't know. I use a navigation. No, I do. I played for Wolverhampton.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I played for Wolves for a couple of years.
Did they love you? Did they show you the love?
They did initially, but then I fell out of a manager and then he just kind of turned on me a bit.
Wow.
But yeah,
Cold.
it was cold up there when that happened.
But I loved running. I just loved running at school. I loved just that feeling of just being out and testing myself. And so I watched the Olympics. I realised that people did this for not even a living, but you could represent your country. Because as a child, you just think you're just running and you're quick. You know,
Were you quicker than the boys?
Yes.
Wow, boy.
Yeah.
Straight away, you was just quicker than everybody.
I was just quick, you know, because we had a yard, so I would play at break time, dinner time, nothing much to do. You're skipping, you're jumping, you're running. And then I thought, okay, let's start getting some competitions together. So I used to race the next class, you know, and just see who was the quickest.
Breathe them.
Then just like, yeah, dealt with you. Next one. And then it was like, okay, let's girls v boys.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, I like this. Olympics, watched that during the summer months. Said to my mum, can you take me to the nearest stadium or club so I can learn how to run? And that was the start.
Because I always say, you know, like running, obviously, I mean, I was in football, right? Running, you don't learn how to run, you just run, right?
Yeah.
But obviously in athletics, it's different, right? You have to learn how to actually sprint and make your body efficient in that way, right?
Yeah.
How difficult is that?
It's like anything. Just like you guys with football, you're drilling all the time.
Yeah.
So exactly what we do. We learn to
You
use
break
our
it down,
feet,
though.
to break down the
yeah.
skill. But there is an argument, and I don't want to go off piece too much, but you've got to come with what you've got.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't convert someone's natural stride length. You
Like
can
Michael
try and
Johnson
also-
was.
Yeah, upright
Yeah.
running, very staccato, but that was his style.
Yeah.
Bolt, different height, different stride length. So you work with what the athlete's got. But there's certain things you can refine. So, you know, you don't want too much lateral movement. The work off the feet, has to be really active. So it's developing the strength in your feet, your calves, and
black
lung
people don't have no
capacity.
calves.
Have you got
Black
chicken
people not got. I got chicken leg.
You know, but that's the speed. See, that's where the speed is at. Yes. Yeah. That's the power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
Have you ever seen a lion or a leopard with fat calves?
For real, you know. It's true, yeah. You don't.
No.
They're all thin, strong.
Strong.
Yeah.
So I just loved it. I loved the feeling from the moment I joined my club at Wolverhampton and Bilston. I just felt like I was part of something. You know, I'm an only child, and you know, just building that sort of community was lovely. And it always starts with that one person who makes you feel welcome, right? So you know, my first coach, lovely man, Bill Hand. He was just lovely. So I kept coming back. There was no hesitation.
How old were you at the time?
I tried to join at 8,
Okay.
but they said I was too young, so I had to wait a whole year to join the club.
Oh wow! So that was really young, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was there nothing that you did? I hear some stories where people where they're too young to get into the club or do this what they want to do, and they snuck in. And any stories like that?
No, it's Angel. Angel. But I did harass my mum. It's like, okay, is it time? And she said, as soon as August comes, you turn 9, you can join in September. And that's what I did. So no, I didn't have to sneak in. I was there Tuesdays and Thursdays, Sunday morning, training.
But like you said, I mean, even now, like I look at athletics and I say it's one of those sports because you just rely on you, right? You have to be on top of your body. You have to be on top of your stretching, everything. And I remember when I used to go running, just over Parliament Hill Fields, there'd be athletes just sitting there stretching together and then, training by themselves. I always looked at it as a really hard sport, and I look at it like, correct me if I'm wrong, unless you get a big sponsorship, you can't really make a living out of athletics.
Very true.
Right? And I feel like, why not? If you're the best at something, you should always be able to make a living out of something.
I don't know what it is, but you are absolutely right that it's hard. It's a brutal sport. It's a brutal sport because, the buck stops with you, ultimately. The graft, everyone trains in every sport, but as you say, within a team setup, there is a little bit of hiding place. You can be. You could definitely be at 75, 80% and still manage the team can be cohesive.
I went on at 60% and got my win bonus, and that was awful.
See, and you can't do that.
You can't do that, yeah.
Can't do
You've
that in
got to be on
athletics.
top of your game all the time.
Yeah.
And train real hard.
And train really hard to make a difference. And
Is it different now?
I would say it is different only because of the investment in the athletes on the World Class Performance Programme. So this is UK Sport funding the various Olympic sports. And so it allows athletes to get better sports science, all the wider support services are there. And I think that really makes a difference to the quality of the athletes' training. So there are times when I got injured and then you're scrambling around to find a physio or someone that can see you. The athletes that are at a certain level can then just access the services much quicker, get your MRIs
they're on
back.
tap. Yeah,
they're on tap. So it is different. High performance centres were non-existent when I was growing through.
Now you've got that one in Sheffield, right?
Sheffield.
Yeah.
There's a facility there, but it's not funded in the same way as it used to be. That pre-Olympics, the money was just flowing.
Yeah.
So you had all these high performance centres, one at Lee Valley.
Lee Valley, I know, yeah.
You know Lee Valley.
Yeah.
And so at least athletes have the opportunity to go indoors. We didn't have indoor facilities back then. You had RAF Cosford, which is just outside Wolverhampton. And that was just like a big hangar where they stuck a track in. It was as hard as anything. But that was where we used to have most of the indoor athletics competitions.
That was indoor, even though it was outdoor.
It was indoor, but it was,
outdoor.
But that was it. It wasn't really a stadium, if you like. So things have changed a lot.
But when did you feel like, okay, I want to do this properly?
Yeah, when
I want to
was
go
like
all the way. Did anyone like inspire you, or did you look up to anyone and just say, okay, I want to copy her? Or
I
him?
think, as I said, local heroes are so important to, I think, young people if you're coming through a particular sport. So think about in Wolverhampton, we had Tessa Sanderson, who was Olympic champion in '84.
Yeah.
Sonia Lanneman from Birmingham, but she used to train at Aldersley Stadium in Wolverhampton. She was a regular sort of what you call Team GB athlete. She represented Great Britain athletics. She went to the Olympics. She was rapid as anything. And I could see her. So you kind of believe it. These women look like me, Tessa's
So
from
important,
Wensfield, So I knew it was possible. I didn't know it would be me, but it kept me in the game.
And that kept you in the game and give you inspiration. Like Jay said, when did the dream become a reality in terms of you was going to actually put everything into
When
this
did
and
people
make
start
it?
talking about Denise Lewis? This girl is quick.
I would say not till I actually made it, And when I say made it, I got a medal at the Commonwealth Games. So I was 20.
I'm going to come on to that,
Yeah,
but
I was 20. But I'd done English schools. I'd done all the groundwork, all the development process, so you kind of go through the system, if you like. I was sort of British junior athlete, international junior athlete, but still not really showing signs of being really good. I was all right, but I wasn't really there yet.
You're being modest now.
No, because I just think back to the athletes before me, and they were like, some people are winning, World Junior Championships and European Juniors, and those are the kind of people everyone was talking about.
Okay.
I was like a footnote.
Okay.
I was good, don't get me wrong, but I was still not there.
Yeah.
So that was your dedication and your mental toughness
Yes.
then, right?
Yeah, completely. So I was under the radar, but I was still grafting, still believing and still grafting until Commonwealth Games. I was like, this is an opportunity. I've got to make it happen.
And when was that? Sorry, how old were
That
you?
gives me
20?
goosebumps. You know? I got goosebumps when you say
20.
that.
That's mad, isn't it?
20.
What was it like stepping on like the track for the first time, knowing this is it? I have to do it in this race now. The next, for whatever seconds it is, I've got to do it.
Yeah. Things with heptathlon, you step on the track and you've got day one, day two.
Yeah,
It was the
course.
start of the day two at those championships where I thought, I've got a chance. If I can just be in the medals, I can sort of announce myself.
Yeah.
And I had this crazy ass javelin throw. Everyone called it freaky, but it went literally like 15 meters more than I'd ever thrown before. It's colossal.
Where does what's that? Is it adrenaline or what is that?
I think it was adrenaline.
Yeah.
I just hit it. When you just hit it.
Just lit.
Yeah, you
Sweet.
lick it
Yeah,
and it's like bam. And it just kept going. And it was like hanging on the air.
Hold on, that's going.
Yeah.
Going.
And you're kind of going, it's not coming down. It's not coming down. And so I went ballistic. Went absolutely ballistic. And that was just catapulted me into first place. And it was a case of hanging on. So when I crossed the line and the reality sunk in that I'd become Commonwealth champion, game changer.
So your first Olympics was 1996, right?
Yeah.
And you got the bronze there.
Yeah.
What was that like? Obviously, you've gone from that now. So this is just me speaking. I feel like, you know what? I've got that extra bit of confidence now when I go into these Olympics. So I can kind of be a bit more relaxed. What was your thought process in that?
I'm there. This is the childhood dream now, and I'm at the Olympics. I'm just like, wow.
Was it like a sit back feeling, or was you that? Because some people I talk to when they kind of like, for example, when you break through into England squad, it's a blur. Did you ever have like a sit back feeling where you think, I'm at the Olympics, or was it all just a blur because it was happening so fast?
It was a blur, but I remember clearly the fact that I got my girls with me. So my friends that are friends now still, we were there together as a unit.
Yeah.
And we were living the dream. We were living the dream.
Together.
We were in America.
Yeah.
I'd only been to America maybe twice before then. And we were at the
Atlanta as well,
games. Yes.
Atlanta.
Let's get the party started.
You didn't stop off at Augusta.
Peaches and cream. And I living the literally living the dream. And I was just trying to take everything in. You know, so what people have to realise that when you're at the Olympic Village, you know, there's hairdressers, there's a nail bar, and I'm thinking, yes, there's sport, but there's everything happening. You know, you've got big stars there, just everywhere. There was just quality.
I'll tell you who I met on my journey. I didn't even tell you this. Ben Johnson.
Did you meet Big Ben?
Yeah.
What?
I did. For me, I'm really inquisitive, so I had to ask him the question, right? I said to him, you know, why did you take drugs? And he said to me, I think it was like the 82 Olympics or something, or 86 he won, right?
It was the 87 world champs and then 88. Yeah.
When he got caught.
When he got caught.
Yeah. So the one, he said he won that comfortably and like to the point where, you know, I don't care. Other sprinters were sending girls to his room and stuff like that, and he was like, "Don't matter, bring them." Went out the next day. You know, he's got that start, like that
wide
start,
stance,
and he breezed, won it comfortably. And then he said he went back the next year and won the race, and everyone was racing again. And he said everyone had got bigger, and then just left me. And at that point, I felt like maybe they was doing something. So that's when I felt like, I'm going to do it. Because he was Canadian, he said that he got they made an example of him and not the Americans.
Yeah.
But he was telling me about the Olympic Village and the experience he's had there. He said it's some of the best experiences of his life.
Yeah. It's just unique. It was absolutely unique. And I think even in that era, you know, I'm still a kid watching at this point. You know, I did love Ben Johnson because he was that, you know, the Americans had dominance over the sprints and
Carl
so
Lewis,
Carl Lewis and just, you know, Mike Myers. There was just all this whole, there was just this whole energy about the American team. And so for someone to come and upset the party the way he did, we were just like, wow.
Yeah.
And literally, like he said, he won the race, you know, 5-10 meters because he was out.
Really
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Not like you see Bolt.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like that.
But Bolt could never had that explosive start.
Yeah.
So you know that's proper.
Yeah, he's
power
out. He's ahead
gone.
before. Yeah.
Bolt like
Yes.
Gradual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that sort of broke my heart when he got caught. So my rosy tinted glasses were just like, right. So this is what people really do. Because before that, I never even thought, you know, drugs was a thing.
Do you think it's like that still?
Yes, because we wouldn't have sort of the anti-doping if it wasn't, you know, people will take the chance. People, I think, get to a certain point in their career when they think, I need to make it happen. So if they've just been on the fringes, they think that they're going to take a chance. I think sometimes there are certain coaches or agents that are trying to bring young talent through. So they want to have that person who, you know, is winning. And so they sometimes naively, the athletes will put all their trust in that individual and then make mistakes.
But that's why you're so special, right? Because you just looked at it like hard work. I'm going to keep on striving.
I think for me, it's more than that. I think because I'm an only child, single parent, you know, my mom's everything, right? And so I've always believed that I'm a representation of her struggle and her sacrifice. So I don't want to do something that's going to bring her shame and put in, you know, just our little family legacy into disrepute. And so it would never be something I could imagine bringing shame on my mom like that. Just backhand. Yeah. So for me, and thankfully, I've never had someone present that option to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is there. It's prevalent.
Have you ever think about growing up and being a female black athlete? Have you ever faced any adversity from that regard as well?
I remember stupid stuff like when I first joined the athletics team, and this was when I was young, so this was, you know, 11, 12, when people could see that I was something different, something more than just the average group there that I trained with. And someone made some stupid comment about black this, another girl. So I went home and told my mum. My mum kissed her teeth and she just told her just to move herself, ignore her and do your thing. But throughout athletics, as you know, it's really about performance. And for by and large, people aren't looking at, your colour because it's quite a diverse sport. Diversity in ethnicity, it's diverse in gender. And so there is a real body shapes. So you get a sense of belonging from the get-go.
And this is why one of my things why I think it's so important to do what we're doing. Obviously, we met all together at the event that Henny and Julia put on at the Belfry. For those that don't know, you do play golf, Denise, as well. I found out earlier that you started playing in 2007.
I watched in
Well, you watched
2007.
in 2007
And
you
I was
thought,
in America.
What did you think about golf?
I'm
then?
going to tell you exactly where I was. I was sitting in the hotel room. I just had my little one. He was a toddler. And, you don't take children to New York because it's just crazy. Yeah. So I had pushchair, I'm stressed out my mind. But I'm sitting in the hotel room and I'm flicking on and it's the Masters. I think, let me watch this. And I became a bit hooked. I was like, oh, this is exciting. Never played before. Retired from athletics 2 years previously. Got back and I thought, I'm going to give this a try. What's this? What's it? Because before that, I thought it was boring as hell. Boring as hell.
Yeah.
If golf was on, I'd flick over until 2007.
I'll turn the sound on and put me to sleep.
Yes.
that always works.
So I went down to the driving range. My other half was playing and has played. I knew people that played because you could always see footballers. That was their pastime. So I was thinking there's got to be something in it then. And I started hitting the ball, scuffing it, getting a bit frustrated, played. Thought, there's something about when you get the connection right and the sweet, and it's just off the club. I was like, oh.
It's like when you threw that jab.
Yes, played a little bit. I remember my first round of golf was at Celtic Manor.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Maybe a year after that.
Newport then. That's right. Well, I got to play for Cardiff, so
Did you?
I used to go and play Celtic Manor a bit. Yeah.
It was cold.
Wet, probably.
Wet. People watching me off that first tee. My knees were knocking. I'd never known nerves like it.
I was just saying that. It's weird how that is, right? When you go and run in the Olympics, you'll be like, okay, I'm cool. I've got this, First tee, I feel so nervous. I can't even explain it.
It's because it's not your. What I'm trying to think, not your expertise. You haven't perfected it. So then when you go onto the first tee, you've almost built up this stigma that I must do this right, and that person's watching over there, and that person's watching. There's fairway, there's grass, there's water, and everything. And
you see me at the open zone, I shanked it.
Yeah,
it's horrible, isn't it?
I was on the open zone with Henny. Henny said, "Come and do it," and I was like, "All right then." So I was and I didn't have my clubs. I'm left-handed, so I had to use one of the players' clubs, which made me even more nervous because it was brand new and it was a players' club, and I hit it, and it went like that. It almost went like when the fans like, yeah, exactly right. And I was like, and she was like, Henny was like, "Oh, we didn't get that one," like that. And I was like, "Oh, thank God." And then I hit the next one. I was a bit better.
When did you get hooked with golf then? When was you like, I want to...
It was my second, I call it my second coming. Because I literally, I didn't want to see clubs again. After that experience, a couple of months, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done.
I did the same thing.
Like,
I threw mine in the lake.
Yeah.
I threw mine in the lake. I don't like this sport no more. It's not for me.
I was kind of like, you know what? I've sort of found this sport for relaxation. This is making me tense.
Not relaxing.
So I'm done. I'm done. So I started playing a bit of tennis, other things, and I thought, no, I'm coming back. And this was about 3 years ago. I've again, post-lockdown, just thinking, okay, got to start again. And this time I've got to give it some gusto. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to play through the winter months, find my groove, and come out reborn.
Can I just circle back? Can I just circle back, please? Because obviously you went to you got silver
Yeah.
in 1997
first,
and
yeah.
1999. Yeah. So now you've gone from bronze to silver, and then in 2000 you got gold. So it's like you took it step by step.
Yeah.
What was that like? So when you got to 2000 and you got the gold, was it a case of, okay, I've got bronze now and I've got 2 silvers, this is the year I need to get the gold?
Completely. Yeah. From 96, I was like, that was my validation. I knew then I was really championship material. Because you think you're a bit of not an imposter, but you think, am I really that good? Am I really that good? Have I got it? Have I got the ability to pull it out when it really matters on the big days and the big moments? And that was just like a seismic shift for me mentally. Changed my whole setup. So I moved from the Midlands, moved to Holland, was training in Holland, got a Dutch coach. Yeah.
Wow. Whereabouts were you living in Holland?
I was in Amsterdam. Party! No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, we didn't get drug tested before.
So I made this decision because it was all about those 2 steps at the podium. It was like, I've got to make this happen. I've got to do all I can. And it was the best decision I think I made.
So your mindset then must, obviously through these times of Commonwealth, the first, and you must have grown so much in that period of time where you can just now say, okay, I have to turn it on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even in that moment, you probably was still comfortable now because you've had the experiences before.
I had the injuries, I had the setbacks, I had, that finite detail for training. So, when you can elevate your training to new heights, it gives you more confidence in competition and the mindset and everything else, which we worked on in that 4-year cycle. And I was really robust. I had every confidence in my ability, my mind to bounce back if, certain events didn't go well. So
seems like you were just ready.
I was just ready. It was my time. When you look back now, I think it wasn't perfect. And I think that's the really important thing for sports people to realise. And actually life, some things aren't perfect, but you just got to have this readiness in your mind to say, okay, I'm going to go for it. And that's what happened in Sydney. It's just like, no, I'm here to win.
And what better country to party in afterwards, right?
I don't remember much of it. But it was good. It was good.
What's your first, when you do think back to that, what is your memory?
Of the win?
Yeah, in Sydney.
A relief.
Yeah.
Relief?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it not like I want to go again, or was it just like...
No, it was just, just almost like something washes over you, like, oh, thank gosh I did that.
So did you, obviously after that then, because you've done that now and you've reached everything you wanted in life, did you get complacent?
No. No, I didn't. I didn't get complacent, much to, the contrary of what was being written. Of course you've got to enjoy the highs, right?
I asked it in a nice way, yeah.
Yeah.
I asked that question in a nice, friendly way.
You didn't. You were just disrespecting me. Disrespecting me.
He is.
Damn.
Really stuff. No, because I'll be honest with you. I said I was speaking to my friend the other day, and I was saying football is a bit different. But when you earn money, and then you get to life-changing money, I got complacent. If I'm honest,
of course you
my mindset changed because I felt like I've done it now.
Yeah,
I've done it now. I don't.
I just need to turn up.
Yeah, that hunger that I initially wanted, it kind of went away for a bit, and then I realised, okay, hold on, my career's I've only got about 5 years left. I need to make a lot more to be good.
Yeah.
I could tell because you wasn't running like you was in that game against QPR after.
I was running for my life in that game. No, but I mean I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it like because it happens with everyone and everything, right? At some points in your life, there is a little bit of complacency that does creep in once you've achieved that pinnacle.
I just think it gets harder, isn't it? I don't think it's complacency, because complacency makes it sound like, oh gosh, this is too easy. I just think it gets harder to do the routine, the monotony, because training is repetitive.
Yeah.
At least you guys is training a squad.
Yeah.
There's bants. You can
That's-
do all of that.
We were saying this. I get bored hitting golf balls. I'd rather go with Jay or with yourself and go do a chipping competition.
Yeah.
Or let's go on the range and try and hit that target. Or let's put £10 on this and try and hit this, because it's creating that competitive environment. And I suppose a solo sport where you're training on your own, sometimes in groups, compared to you, is like you're going having fun because you're in a big group of.
My wife actually disrespected me one time and said, Jay, like you're a professional footballer. Isn't it like you're just going to play football with your friends in the park? And I was like, but I earn money from it. Like that. And she was like, yeah, but you're kind of, because she don't like football. She never knew football. So she's from Italy, but she never liked football. But when she first came over, that's what she said to me. And I was just like, you know what? She doesn't know any different. But if you really break it down to the absolute basic, that's what I'm doing. I'm on the pitch with my friends playing football.
Yeah. I think for athletes, if you can get into that sort of vibe, and I think the current athletes, because some of them move together, so they're in prep camps together. They're hardly here actually. They hardly train in Britain these days.
Cold.
There's a little bit of it, but largely they're off every couple of weeks, 6 weeks or 8 weeks. They're going on training camps.
I've got a question, Denise, and I asked this to most of our guests actually, in their chosen sport or field. Sometimes it can be quite tough to answer, but athletics and the Olympics quite exciting to watch. It's fast paced, right? Football's very fast paced. It's exciting to watch. Golf is one of them slow sports that it isn't fast paced. It takes 4 hours, 5 hours. The broadcast is on for like 6 hours. How can a sport like golf become a bit more interesting to consume for a new person that doesn't know anything about golf, do you think?
I mean, it would be great if there were more opportunities to show it at its best, i.e. make it shorter, because that's what you're alluding to, make it shorter, have this target, because I just think you don't get an appreciation of the skill of landing at a target and aiming at a target and coming 10, 20 feet from it, It's just insane. Everyone lives for the hole-in-one moment. But just the accuracy. I know, that is not good. It's not picking up yet. It's just the accuracy for me. And if you could kind of capture that on TV somehow, make a target practice sort of competition.
That in itself is you're right actually, because sometimes TaylorMade do some things when a club comes out for the first time, and then you've got Tiger, you've got Rory, Fleetwood, all these guys, Scheffler, and they're like on the range and they're saying, let's hit that target.
Yeah.
And I want to see it, you hit it with a high fade or something, and it's like they're just doing it, and it's just boom. Every time repetitive.
But to a new person, they don't understand that. So you're saying there needs to be some comparison between how good that actually is, showcasing that.
Yeah.
And you're exactly the same as some of the other people that speak about this, because how do we get golf into a place where a new person can consume it and actually get it in the hands, get a club in the hands for the first time, which is some stuff that we're hopefully being able to push forwards now this year. But for example, going into schools and getting a club in their hands and just showing them that, okay, I can have fun to do this, but it's quite difficult, isn't it?
It's not easy. And I think, the sooner you can get young people hitting, just having a play with it, see what you can do
Club
with
in
it.
hand.
Club in hand. We're still very much sort of lower limb orientated, and running team games, team sport. I think if you can bring that sort of camaraderie with young people and make it look fun and feel fun, the target is the one. You know, remember that ping pong challenge that
Yeah,
kids used to do?
Yeah.
See if we can get it in the cup.
Yeah.
If you make that mindset of what do young people like, and they do like challenge.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Something
They
like
kind
that
of got
would
that,
work.
haven't they, with Top
Top golf.
Top golf got the
They've kind of got
targets,
them targets, haven't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
but you know, which schools really capitalise on that?
And that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're all about, is trying to get people, the younger generation especially, give them the opportunities and the possibilities where they can go and try something. They might like it. Who knows?
That's why Top Golf and Pitch and you know, these city indoor golf centres I think are great. But you know, I think if you've never been on a golf course and had that greenery around you, I mean, there's something magical about just being in open space.
It's got to be an entry though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, what's the first? How can I get consumed by it for the first time? Places like Pitch, Top Golfs, these places where I can just go there for the first time on a date with a mate or whatever it is, just go there for the first time. As soon as you do that, and you can start to take your first steps and then go and see greenery and space, and that's the bit that
That's the
kind
hook.
of then hooks you next,
That's
and
the
then
hook.
you're in there, aren't
Yeah.
you?
I have a question for you. Obviously, you got you've been recognised, you know, with your OB, your MB, and what was it like? Because for me, for example, I didn't feel very patriotic until I made my debut for England.
Yeah.
And then I was at Wembley and I was looking up and I got the goosebumps and I was like, shit, like the royal, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, wow. How did it feel for you when you got recognised for all these great achievements that you've done, coming from the lonely place in Wolverhampton?
Just an immense sense of pride, you know. Yeah, I recognise my family's heritage and journey to the UK. I've always worn red, white, and blue. So for me, standing on the podium, hearing the national anthem, and seeing that connection, you know, it was massive. And so I do feel very proud because, you know, whether you feel like you're a royalist or very patriotic, it's just a symbol of recognition of your service and what you've done. And I think for me, if that inspires, you know, another young person who, you know, has a dream of moving the dial a little bit from their beginnings, socio-economic background, improve that, that's all good. You know, I could never envisage that I would be here in this way. No, not really.
And now you're a sports presenter as well, and you're pretty good at that too.
all right.
Actually, you're good at that too. You're pretty good at everything, actually, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I just try. That's all I do. I try to do good work.
And from that, Denise, what advice could you give a young person that's pursuing a career in sport or their chosen business, or just some advice that you could give somebody, a young person?
Got to stick at it. There's so much temptation just to... I'm one for diversifying, but if it's your passion, you just got to keep learning your craft, you know, and it's not always a linear progression. You kind of weave a little bit, but utilize knowledge around you and just keep believing in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I think I always just said it's about my personal best. It's about my incremental steps forward. And then you become a dame and like, Lord, wow, that happened. But it's measuring success for yourself though, isn't it? You know.
Not judged by anybody
not
else.
judging-
It's your
no,
own success,
it's your
isn't it? And your
own-
own goals,
yeah.
targets.
Completely, your own targets. You know, we say goals, but I think it really is targets.
Yeah.
Because a target, you're going in a particular direction. And you're aiming for the direction. You don't necessarily have to land in the bullseye, but you can be on your target.
And I suppose something I like to think about as well is having a very small pinpoint out there target, which is going to drive me in a direction. Because when you was young and it might have been gold, that's led you to bronze, silver, and then achieving the top. So it's almost like if I strive for the top, I'm kind of working my way there. I don't have to get there straight away, but you work your way there, don't you?
It's patience. It really is patience. And for me, and athletics in particular, it was, can I be at least make it to being recognised in the town? Then you go county, then you go national, and then you go international, you know. And so
you're kind of a big deal.
international suits.
But we do want you to be a big deal now because we have our season 2 challenge. So are you feeling limbered up?
You never tell me what's going on.
Because you know what, people get nervous, innit? If I say you've got longest drive challenge, you might say, you know what, I can't do that today. My back's a bit sore.
We've got a longest drive challenge.
Bring it on.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I love
I'm
that.
born ready. Boom.
Okay, so Denise is going to take on the long drive challenge. Are you ready, Denise?
Yeah, born ready.
And by
No
the way,
warm-ups, no?
Hold on as well. We have to be fair on this. Denise is the first woman to do this, so she's going to have her own list.
Yeah.
So you're setting the standards. You're setting the standards.
No, we ain't taking no other list. We're going all in. We're just going on leaderboard.
No, we can't do that. It's not fair.
got to.
It's not fair. It's not
Gender
fair.
equality. I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Feminists in me saying, yeah, bring it on.
You're going to beat a lot of men
good.
that are on there as well.
Definitely
Yeah.
going to be one.
Lockie. Lockie ain't gonna hit
You know,
the straight.
Locksmith from Rudimental.
No, oh, can he play? Yes, he can play.
He can play. But I played with him yesterday and he was like this, doing it this.
He's too hench. That's the problem.
Too
And he
big.
he
He's too
banged
hench.
it like that and he hit it like that way. Like, I didn't see that. Like looking down the fairway, it's over there. Like, he's a
He's
great guy.
going
though.
into the next county,
Yeah,
wasn't
he's
it?
big though.
He probably can't swim.
Are you ready for this
I'm
challenge
ready.
though? We've got a few people that are on the leaderboard already. I'm not going to tell you who or where they hit it. We're just going to hit first and then we're going to see where you are.
I think
I want to know some distances though, please.
Do you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
So how hard you feel like you need to
yeah,
hit this one?
yeah.
Okay, I'll
Shall I
tell you you're
what's
not going to
the-
beat the first one.
Okay, that's fine. Is that
Should
Tommy
we say
Fleetwood?
what Rick did, Jess?
Huh?
What Rick did? Should we tell her what Rick
Okay,
did?
so Rick Lewis, he got 261.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's
But
6'10".
I mean, he's massive.
Yeah.
Right, 6'10". And
But I see some power in this. I see some power here. I'm seeing some power here. The power shift.
No, that's
Strike,
Ying.
that
Ying,
was.
no, it's going
No
off
way.
into.
Going on
It's
the
going
floor.
into Israel. Where's that? Damn. Right.
You know what,
Okay,
that-
that was one.
Do you know what? Do you know what? The one you did before that you didn't get.
I told you.
That
Didn't
was
I?
the one.
Maybe I'll give you an extra go for
I
that.
told you.
one. Maybe I'll give you an extra go.
I'm gonna take off. The rings are coming off now.
Oh,
God.
it's getting
Yeah.
serious.
The rings are
serious.
coming
It's getting
off.
serious now.
Right, shot 2.
Okay.
I think it's actually fun on these long drives because you try and hit it hard, but it's got to be straight too.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, it's going to hang
That
on
sounded
this
nice.
one.
That sounded nice.
Oh,
Oh,
it's in. Oh, is that over?
hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Text Rick.
I'm
Text
done.
Rick.
I'm done. Thanks. Bye bye. See you.
She's out.
I'm out. I'm finished.
You want to leave it there?
Yeah, I'm done.